This video provides guidance on how to measure the external walls in approximate quantities. When we measure external walls, we want to avoid a piecemeal approach. A piecemeal approach would be measuring the external walls to the front elevation, the back elevation, and then to each of the side elevations. So what we need to do is to use the centre line. If we look at the end elevations, we have this triangular area of brickwork at the gable walls. If we look at our section, we can see up to the underside of the wall plate, that area of wall is around each elevation. So, firstly, we measure the external area of brickwork from DPC up to the underside of the wall plate, and then we make adjustments to the area, the triangle area for the gable bands here. So firstly, let's concentrate on the area to the underside of the wall plate shown in pink here. This area will be measured on the centre line of the composite wall. This will be the same centre line as the foundation, which you would have used earlier in your substructures measurement. So let's look at establishing the height. So the height is from the underside of the wall plate to DPC. This isn't clearly annotated on the drawing, so we need to work it out from the annotations that have been given. If we look here, we have the annotation from the top of the composite wall down to DPC. So in our waist calculation, we can take this measurement and then add on the height of the cavity closer. Allowing for the mortar joint, we'll take that at 75 millimetres. So we've now established the height of the external brickwork. Then, in our dimension column, we will calculate the area by multiplying this centre line times this height. So now let's focus on our gable band. It's a triangular area. So first of all, we have to establish the base, because we're going to use half base times height. Let's take the base as the width of our building. So the next issue is establishing the height. If we look on section AA here, we can, using a scale, we can scale the height from this point at the apex of the truss rafter to the underside of the truss rafter. Once we have that scaled measurement, we can look back at our section. So we've now established the height of our triangle to this point here, and then we just need to take an allowance for our wall plate. So the height will be the height that's scaled from section AA plus the height of our wall plate, which you can get from the drawing. So we have now calculated our external walls. The centre line to the height to the underside of the wall plate, and then our two triangular areas for the gable ends, where we're using half base times height. We wouldn't normally in approximate quants actually do a deduction for the openings, the windows, but I would very much like you to do this just to practice your measurement skills. So we can look on the plan for the structural openings of the windows, and I would expect you to take these measurements from the plan. In terms of the height, obviously they're not annotated, but using our information from manufacturer's literature, we are going to take the height of the windows as 1015 millimetres, so that's a standard height for a casement. When we look at our French window and our front door, we're going to take a standard height for the door opening, and we take that as 1000 981. So in our dimension column we'd have to deduct for each of the windows and for each of the doors. Remember to signpost against these items so you can follow your measurement at a later date if the window sizes were to change.